Howdy, gonna review some sandals here. Got 4 pair I'm gonna look at. All right, and I got 3 parts to the video. I'll show you the sandals, I'll review the sandals, then I'll tell you about the terrain I walk and hike and run on, and I'll show it to you so you can see it yourself. We got them here. Got the Luna Mono Winged Edition, Luna brand, Oso Flaco, OSO FLACO, Winged Edition. By winged, they mean that instead of the side straps going through the sole, as these do, they got these little tabs or wings that the straps go through instead. So winged edition instead of what this company calls the retro edition. But got these two, and got the Xero Genesis, Xero brand Genesis, and Xero brand Z-Trek, not to be confused with the Z-Trail. Z-Trek, Genesis, Oso Flaco, and Mono, M-O-N-O. So these guys, about 11 millimeter, I think they say, sole, about 4.5 millimeter tread, and these weigh about, they say about 7.5 ounces. These guys, 7 millimeter here, they say 4 millimeter tread. These weigh about 6 ounces. These guys, 6 ounce, they weigh 6 ounces, or 4.5 ounces, and the sole is about 5 millimeter thick. That's all there is to it. Got the tread down there, versus these, and these are the same. And the Z-Trek, about, what were these? 6 millimeter sole maybe, and these weigh 7 ounces, and it's interesting, you can feel it. The heft in the hand for these is about the heft in the hand for these, even though these are a lot thicker, lighter material in some cases, but it shows you how durable and sturdy these guys are. Then you notice toe strap or thong, toe strap or thong, but then you got a strap across the toes. I'm used to barefoot, haven't done shoes, so these guys, the Mono, I do not like. You might like them if you're used to shoes, but they're too thick for me. And when I walk, especially on the right foot, I think before I knew what I was doing with fitness, before I became a fitness trainer and dug into biomechanics and stuff, I messed up my knee. Thank goodness I know what I'm doing now. I think my hip is a little wonky, my knee's a little wonky. So that could be part of it, but these guys, they're so thick, I don't like stepping. It like bothers my knee a little bit when I walk on these things. But just the thickness, can't feel the ground. I don't like it. But like I say, that's me. I'm used to going barefoot a lot, feeling the ground, even stuff out here. I go wear sandals sometimes. I need some for some of the terrain. But out here, I did a 12-mile hike. You know, some of it's like kind of soft dirt, but still you got stretches of trail where it's a bunch of rocks on the ground. I did 12 miles barefoot. Today, I did 8 miles, almost 8 miles barefoot. Did another hike in Mount Holyoke Range State Park. I did about 8.5 miles. Some of it was on kind of rough terrain, but about 6 of it I still did barefoot. So I'm used to that, even on some tougher surfaces. So that's me. For some people, you're used to shoes. These could be great. Thicker sole, more support, stiff. They could be good for you, especially if you're transitioning from shoes to like when I wear sandals out hiking or something. So the Luna Mono, great for some people, but for me, it's a no. But even though these are 4 millimeters thinner, the Oso Flaco, yes, I like these. I prefer stuff that's thinner, but still I like these. I'll hike in these. Had these for a while. No, for me, yes. And it doesn't give the feel, the ground feel that I like, but it's enough of a feel, and they provide some protection. Thing for me is I like these snug. I wear these still, like I say, but you gotta be careful about the thong here. It can bite into your toe. In between these two toes, the strap goes in here, and if you have these too tight, as I say, snug, it'll bite in between your toes. It's annoying, kind of painful, but you just got to adjust them right. Like I say, I still wear them. And then, so these are something I would wear for hiking, or around. But specifically talking for hiking today, these things, the Xero Genesis, really thin. They're great. I love them. Not for hiking, but for walking around in. Although, I wish there was a strap on the side here, and not just the like thong feature there. Because what's happened here, walking along, since they're kind of like not so much like a real sandal, they're kind of going on like a flip-flop. You know, flip-flops are not sandals. Flip-flops are a type of sandal, but not all sandals are flip-flops, as some people think without knowing. You know, the Romans didn't like conquer a bunch of their area, the world, wearing flip-flops. They went around in sandals. Can you imagine people fighting in flip-flops? Like, hello? They wore sandals, you know? Something that stayed on their feet, something that was secure. Not at all the same. Flip-flops, flip and flop, and they only got like one strap. What do they got? Like, I don't wear them. So is it what? Something on the front, nothing on the back, so they flop around. But these are more secure, you know, hence sandals. But they're so thin, they kind of flip and flop still. Maybe something here would be good. I wish the company would do it, but maybe you could come up with something. Maybe if I'd like punch some holes in the side, then put a strap through, then they'd be more secure. But since they don't have so much on the front to keep them in place, they kind of can flop around. If you don't have them on tight enough, it's loose, and hence if you're walking along, the sole, the bottom here, can catch onto the surface you're walking on and kind of like trip you up a little bit. And what's happened with this one is even you step, the leg goes through, and with the force of the drive of the leg and foot forward, this getting caught, this is only so much strength it can resist. So this thing just, part of the string just popped off. This thing eventually lost, but the string popped off. Had to like retie it, get a new one. It's pretty simple to get a new one and put it in. This little part right here, up to this little bracket thingy. This part, the plastic, the string, this little round rubber thing here comes as a unit. You can buy that. Doesn't cost much, $2 or something. $2, $4. Put it in. There's videos on how to do it. So you got to watch that on this. I'd like to wear them like on the trail, maybe on flat trails. Not if there's a lot of rocks. Or I don't know, you know, for some things. Like if I'm indoors, I wear these. Love them. They're so thin. But could be on some flat surfaces. So trail in some conditions, but not in rocky mountainous areas. They wouldn't be so good unless, like I say, you adjusted them, punch some holes in it, put a strap in, engineer something to keep them secure on the side as well, get them snug. But Hence the Z-Trek. Love these. You got the strap that goes across the toes instead of a thong here, so it doesn't dig into your toe. You don't get that problem of it popping out. Much more secure. And like I said, this is a very durable sole. 7 ounces, 7 ounces. These are like a total of 15 millimeters thick. These are just like 6 millimeters thick. So recommend it. Then you got a nice strap system to keep it snug. You got it across here, across here, across the front of the foot, across the back of the foot. Good strap to keep the heel in. Sideways, some adjustments, so you can get it snug side to side and top to bottom of the foot. Then you got some little heel cups here, which the others don't. They're all flat, of course. Flat, flat. No heel cups. Got some little cups for the toes too. Big toe, little toe, heel. So these are good because going uphill, going downhill. Going uphill, tend to move to the back a little bit. This keeps it in place, helps keeps it in place. Besides the straps. Going downhill, move forward a little bit more. So going uphill, might be able to put my fingers about like there where you hit the toes. But coming downhill, the toes are gonna shift forward a little bit more. I can make them snugger. Maybe that would help a little bit, but still there'll be some like moving around. And these I like because even unlike these, which are 11 millimeter total, I've read, I can feel the ground, feel the rocks, feel the roots. I love it. Being used to going barefoot a lot, as I say, wanting to know what the surface under me is like. I'm used to that. Used to know, when I step on a root, it feels like a root. When I step on a rock, it feels like a rock when I go barefoot. And this is more like that, but helps me go faster over terrain that I'd have to go slower on barefoot. You can see these reviewed in different reviews out there, like there's Paul the Backpacker and Bryce, forgot his last name. I'll put a link in the description to some reviews of this. You can see more. But good for hiking if the bottom of your feet are used to getting the feedback of the ground. If you're used to being in shoes and you got something thicker and you're not used to feeling the surface you're walking on, these could freak you out. Wouldn't be good to go to right away. I'd recommend, going slow and transitioning, something like this maybe, and then something like this, and then maybe if there's something in between, I don't know, and then something like this, and then going barefoot at home around soft surfaces in the meantime. Your feet aren't feet like a rock is a rock. Your feet are adaptable. They're part of a biological organism. Muscles, ligaments, tendons, bones, nerves are down there. It's not just some thing. It takes time to adapt. So you need to allow weeks or months or years to get used to going from no feedback on the bottom of your feet to all this feedback flooding your brain. But it's good. It's information. You want feedback between you and the earth. You want to be aware of the surfaces you're stepping on, so you know how to move slower, faster, whether it's safe or stable or not. You got more information with bare feet. Of course, sometimes, firefighters need to wear boots. People in the military, you're going out some places, you need to wear shoes, boots, something like that. Some police officers, you're going somewhere where there's broken glass, you got to wear, protective footwear. But a lot of times, we can and should go barefoot to strengthen our feet, strengthen our ankles. Too much flat with nothingness, you're not using your ankles much. You're not using your ligaments. You go out on the ground in nature where there's more rocks, your ankles are going to turn and move and bend. So are your feet. You got to get used to adjusting to that, you know, neurologically, you got to get used to feeling your brain and your nervous system feeling what you're stepping on and adjusting immediately. Your ankle's going to be twisting and turning more. It's got to get more mobility and more strength, and that takes a while. So go slow, please. Give it weeks or months or years. And the skin's got to get stronger too. It takes a while for the skin to grow. You got this supple layer in the bottom. This kind of, you know, these little calluses like some people do when they got soft skin. Maybe they go to the gym, then they might get calluses here, nowhere else. When you do some stuff, like you climb trees a lot or whatever, or you're doing some construction where you're grabbing stuff again and again with your whole hand, you get this like callus, like a glove over your hand. It's very different than just have little calluses there. Or on your feet, you get this layer of skin that's thicker down there that helps you go on the different surfaces instead of just soft carpet or socks inside a shoe. It takes time, so go at it slower. Or maybe if someone had some socks or something, some kind of layer under between their feet and this to help them absorb some of the impact. But when you're used to minimalist shoes and you've done some barefoot, great. I love these. I've been wearing these on hikes in Western Massachusetts. Like I say, we've done a lot of elevation change. So with these, they're not as flippy floppy as these. Nice durable sole. You know, not stiff like as stiff as this, but still they're pretty stiff. But good tread. They help me walk on rocks. Paul the backpacker says he doesn't like walking on roots in these, but I love it. Feels like a massage. But I've done that. Sweet gumballs, pine cones, roots, rocks. Feels really good. I've gone on rocks that have a decline or incline. You know, big rocks you can step on, not little ones, and the trail, of course. And these are fine. Good tread, good traction. They're trustworthy. I don't slip. It doesn't dig into my toe, as I say. So Z-Trek, I love them. And of course, use caution no matter what when you're in wet terrain. If I had wet, muddy surface, I'd go barefoot anyway. I wouldn't wear these. If it's wet and there's a bunch of little rocks on, I'd wear these. And of course, if you're walking on bigger rocks, boulders, bigger rocks that are straight, and when they get wet, you know, I'd be careful where I'm stepping anyway, where it's wet, barefoot or not. Have some big clunky boot on your foot or whatever, you're still going to slip because there's a break in friction if there's water on a rock and it's smoother. You know, you got to be careful where you step. But I've been out hiking in these when it's wet, and you know, watch my step as I should anyway, and it's fine. I don't step on places where I'm going to slip and fall. Just be mindful. Now, me, where this is coming from, I do barefoot a lot. Been going barefoot for 15 years or so, quite a bit. Barefoot and sandals. My feet have rarely seen the inside of shoes, except for, of course, in some of the winter of Idaho or Massachusetts. So I've done a lot of, like I say, hiking barefoot. This year so far, I looked on all trails, and I've done recorded on there, you know, I've done more, some stuff I haven't put on there, but like about 200 miles of hiking and running with about 59,000 feet of elevation gain just this year. And I've been in Indian Head Wilderness, been in Mount Holyoke Range State Park out here, did national forests like Boise National Forest in Idaho, stuff out there. So rocky, uneven terrain, not just kind of flat, soft dirt, is some people who don't know the wilderness might think about natural trails. But so that's my background, where I'm coming from. Now, Bryce Newbold and Paul the Backpacker, they've had their Z-Treks when they did their review about year, 2 years. I think 1 year for one of them, 2 years for the other. I've only had mine for a few weeks, but like them so much and have been out with them so much, I'm going ahead and giving them a thumbs up right now. I'll see how they hold up, but as I say, with these things, I don't remember how many miles, but maybe 20 miles with 15,000 feet of elevation change in hiking 1 week. Elevation, gain, not like 7,500 up, 7,500 down, make 15,000, but about 15,000 up and 15,000 down. Did a lot of hiking 1 week with them, and then another week, I don't know, maybe 15 or 20 miles with like 13,000 feet of elevation gain. So put them to the test on some really rugged terrain. Done a lot of mileage with them, a lot of elevation gain. So, bumblebee just landed on my hand, then took off. I guess it's because I got lemon eucalyptus on. Here it is again. Can you see it? Right there. Good. All right. Or maybe it was some kind of mimic fly. But anyway. They've been put to the test and took me on some really rugged terrain. So I'm good to give them a thumbs up and review them so far. Then maybe I'll come back in a year or two and review them again. Talk about how they've held up.